13:48. Dogs have been fed. My food's on. And look at that fire. Put a fire log on. Split some wood that I've brought. Chuck one of theirs because theirs are damp. And some of mine. And I've got some coal to go on later. So we've got plenty of wood. We've got plenty of everything. So she'll dry off. I'll take that off in a minute. Because once the room warms up a bit. He's cleaning her, bless him. I brought this, I don't know what they call them, billy cans or something like that. That can actually be used on an open fire to boil water, so, because I thought I'd be using a hot tank. So, it's a long story, I'll get back to that later. I'm just rushing around. I've got to get food in me, got to get a hot drink in me, got to get this room warmed up, which is not going to take long now. Close all the other doors. And we'll try and maintain the heat, and I'll be sitting here or sitting near the fire. There's a chair there, soft chair I can bring near it. The dogs, I think, will lie there tonight. I'll put their beds down, that'll all dry off, I'll get rid of that and put their beds down and all that, and they'll be lovely and warm. And I know Stella, she'll just hold the fire. Right, food is a weird lunch. It's chicken tikka with rice. I do like it, so it's something to eat. That last bit coming over the top to come down to the Bothy. Oof. Pushing that bite. Wasn't the bite, it was carrying that and pushing the bite. If I didn't need that wood, who's to know that, eh? I got a road half the way and pushing wouldn't have been a problem, but near the end, it was like that. It felt like it kept going up and up and up. It was only when you got right round the lock that I realised there's the Bothy. Just suddenly sprung out at us. But feet have got a bit wet, but I'm not taking anything off yet because the heat in the room will warm my feet up, believe it or not. And I've got some lovely soft socks, and I've got some, I call them Bothy booties or whatever. Nice and down. So when I know I'm not going out anymore and all that, that's it. Then I'll change into some warmer stuff. But look at that. That's going to start throwing some heat out soon, isn't it? Beautiful. And if it's the guy that stopped me, that I thought was a bit grumpy, then he can have, I will move my car 100% on Friday, because if he's brought that down for people, I think that's absolutely brilliant of him. Because there's no wood around here, there's no trees or anything, so, you know, someone's brought that. And it's not, no one's humped that. That's really chunky, heavy stuff. Right, dinner time. I'll catch you after. Socks are drying. I just see my boots hanging. Not doing right. Hold on, I'll get back to you. Take two. Boots are hanging and water's dripping out of them. As I said, socks are steaming. I've got my booties on. I haven't got my warm socks because guess what? Unless I've stuck them somewhere else, this clown forgot them. Oh, unbelievable. I cannot believe I forgot them. I'm going to have to look for it. Got so much gear on that bike. But anyway, I don't know if you can hear, but we're getting battered by them 40 mile per hour winds, and they're easy 40 mile per hour winds. The whole building's shaking at times. It's coming in gusts. It's making a right racket, and it's supposed to pick up to about, they were saying about 10, 11, it might push on to 12. And tomorrow the winds are quite strong, but nothing like there will be this evening. I've had my dinner, or lunch should I say. Dogs were fed immediately, they're drying off. I keep swapping them around to make sure both of them get the warmth for the fire, because at the moment one's sitting there, one's sleeping there. So yeah, why did I choose this trip this time? Simple, because of that weather out there. I wanted to pitch a hot tent, and I was thinking of going around the Glenetev area, but not going down that normal road that everyone else goes down. Oh, that's not too bad, that one. Hear it? It's picking up. It keeps doing this and really gets strong. So I won't be going out. Yeah, so I was going to do the Glenetev area, but I was going to go around the back and kind of lose ourselves, you know what I mean, in somewhere nice. Pitch a hot tent, carry a little bit of wood, and of course there's lots of trees around there, and even if they're wet, you can strip the bark off. This is the dead ones. Strip the bark off and just use the inside part of the wood, and it'll burn. You might smoke a bit at the beginning, but it will burn. But then I saw, how do I put it? There's like a storm down here and a storm up there, and in between is where we are now. In other words, just above Glasgow, Fort William area, and maybe a bit higher, Speen Bridge. That's been battered, so they said. I mean, I haven't had an update since I got in the car. That was getting battered by strong winds and a storm front. And further north, if you take and say, you know, Sandwell Bay, Blairmore, that area, and maybe a bit further down, that was getting battered. But a lot of, what's it called, Ullapool, and that middle strip is going to get strong winds, but it's not going to get so bad. But the bloke said, if one of these goes up or one of these comes down, things can change. So I'm crossing my fingers that I've chosen. We're like the sandwich, with the meat in the sandwich. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm half asleep. I haven't had no sleep since I got up yesterday, 9 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, it's 36 hours nearly. So I might ramble and I might lose myself a couple of times. But after doing that hike, which turned out just under 8 miles, which was pretty good going, that was, you know, it was strong enough, but it was very waterlogged. But going back to the point, I'm straight off my points, aren't I? Yeah, so I was going to do the Glenetev, use the hot tent, and it can take up to 40-mile-per-hour winds, but, you know, is it fun when you're getting battered and you have to sleep at night with one of your arms up because, you know, you're scared the tent's going to blow away? No. So I had to resort to plan B. And this one had been on one of my lists. You know, you see things, you watch things, you say, I'll go there, I'd like to do that one. And that was on one of the so-called lists. But obviously when I looked and did a bit of research, you could park your car down at the schoolhouse. Obviously the guys changed it, or they've had problems or whatever, and they now only do that in the peak season. So yeah, please don't bring your car down in the autumn like I did. Even though there's a sign saying it's not saying peaks time, it's just saying hill walkers, visitors, park your car here, you know. So it should say in peak season, park your car here. In off season, stay beyond that, stay in front of that red gate. So, but if he's brought that wood, I'm not going to complain, am I? So yeah, chose this. No regrets at all. It's lovely. Really, really nice. I'd like to do that knockdown Bothy on the other side. That all depends on what the weather's like on Friday. I've got to get back to that schoolhouse now because I've promised him I'll move my car. So I will set, I mean, this is the other thing. It's dark to about 8 in the morning and it gets dark about 7:30, something like that in the evening. So I can't set off from here in the dark because there's so many potholes and water and everything everywhere. I'd like to see where I put my feet. So I worked out it's about 3 hours. Set off at, what time did I set off today? I don't know. Probably 9, and I got here 1. But I was taking photos and stopping and chatting, and I was carrying all that gear. Going back, I won't be carrying all that gear. So it should be faster going back. But as I say, it all depends on the weather, because the first river, it is part of the river we crossed, was okay. It was about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches deep. Doable. The second one was quite deep. But if you push near the edge, there's some rocks under there, but they're slippery and greasy. So I'm shaking. I'm not cold, I'm just more tired, I think, now. So you got to be careful. And luckily I was using the bike to kind of balance myself, so that worked. But if it rains, that will flood and be in spate. Anything over knee high and you're talking problems, even at knee high, it's going to be a problem. Because you've got to think of the dogs, you know. They're not as tall as my knee hardly, you know what I mean? So I have to look and think about that one. Might have to, the way rivers run, once it gets the rain, they'll go up, but they go down quite quick within a reasonable amount of time. So, and it's not far from this Bothy, so I could easily take a look, you know what I mean, assess the situation, and then come back to the Bothy and sit it out for a couple of hours. Maybe get a fire going. But I've got to get back for him on Friday. I didn't give him a specific time, but I guess he'll want the car moved out by Friday, last thing at least. I think he's worried about other hill walkers and all that all bringing the cars in and parking near the schoolhouse. I don't know why that causes a problem. Maybe he gets camper vans or something coming down and they're misusing the schoolhouse. I don't know. And that's nothing against camper vans. I'm just saying, you know, that's what you get up here, don't you? You get a lot of camper vans, you get a lot of hill walkers, and you get a lot of people Munro bagging. But when I was driving up last night and this morning, I didn't see any camper vans up here. So obviously not many people around in the autumn and the winter months. Oh dear, I'm sorry, I apologise, I'm so tired. That fire's making me worse. What was the drive like? Dark and wet. And we stopped, when I say we, I stopped for Call of Nature just before Aviemore. There's a place that does distillery and they do visitor centre and all that. So visitors can kind of walk around the distillery or something. It's a well-known one. I keep passing it. I don't know the name still now. But just before I reached that, heading towards Aviemore, it's quite high up, and I got out the car about, I don't know what time this was, about 4:30, something like that. And the temperature was 3.5 degrees, but it was freezing and it was sleeting. And it was actually sleeting. So with the wind chill, you were close to freezing easy, which was a surprise. As I say, a lot of back roads on this one, and a lot of places where you couldn't go fast or even go the speed limit, because I found a lot of deer on the roads, and luckily I was expecting it and I just took it steady, and lo and behold, come around corners and loads of deer on the roads. Saw more deer on the roads than I probably saw walking up here, but I did see a good few deer. I saw about 30-40 deer here. But trust me, going along the roads at that time of the morning, for some reason all the deer hang around the roads. Or they play chicken with the car. And that's what it's, you know what I mean? So I was taking it steady, and lo and behold, yeah, a lot of deer. Other questions and other points. Someone asked, haven't heard from you for a bit. What happened was, I did the last one, then there was a few shortages. Lie down. There was a few shortages in the UK, and it was like panic stations. Everyone was panicking. I just sat in my house and kind of ignored it and waited till it blow over. It took about 2.5 weeks to blow over. Then I was planning to go out, come up to Scotland, and I went into my local chemist, and the bloke in there says, "Have you had your flu jab yet, mate?" And I went, "No." And he says, "Do you want it?" And I says, "Yeah, why not? You know, because I'm here." And he gave me the flu jab, and the very next day I got the flu. I don't know, people say it doesn't happen, but trust me, it did with me. And I was ill for about 2 weeks, and then I got bronchitis. It just escalated. Lie down, and so that scuppered that chance. And then when I was planning to go, I kind of, I've got the bike bug at the moment. You know, I really like carrying all the gear on your bike. I think it's much easier. It's fun as well. It's great fun. And I will be doing some cycling tomorrow, as long as it's not pouring down out there. So I was changing a lot of gear as well. I was selling tents, I was selling gear, that extra rucksacks that I'm not going to be using because I'm going to be using more bike. I changed the bike from a fat bike to the Trek, which is a Trek Roscoe 7. The reason I did that is I had 2 years with the fat bike, and I thought, you know, it's time for a change. And also, I've noticed straight away, I always thought the fat bike felt solid and chunky in your hands because obviously even the frame's chunky. With the Trek Farley, it feels much more nimble and movable, you know what I mean? And don't forget, I'm getting on now, you know what I mean? So I'm not spring chicken, so I find it much easier to move and shift the weight. Rebel, don't lick my, he's licking my down booties, so he's going to make them soggy. He's a clown. Look, now he's licking her. So yeah, so I've been doing a lot of changing. And then on top of that, Stella's 11 in about 5 weeks' time. And obviously with the colder weather and, you know, the wetter weather and all that, it affects her joints even more because she does suffer from arthritis. So I've got to kind of take things steady with her. Plus, I'm getting older as well. But that's the reasons why I came here. That's the reasons why you haven't seen me or heard from me. Sorry, you never see me. And also, I've just been enjoying a bit of time to myself. I don't think I've been on Instagram that much. I don't think I've posted a couple of bits just showing. I found some videos of their pups from years back, and I put them on because I know people like seeing them. I've just been lazy as well, you know, enjoying life. I'm very happy, you know what I mean? So I go when I go, and if I don't go, I don't go. It's like doing these boffies. I'm visiting boffies, but I haven't got a plan to do every boffie in the book or every boffie in Scotland. You know, I visit what boffies I do, what ones I don't. And in the meantime, I do the biking and, you know, wild camping in summer. I'd like to get in the mountains in winter. I'm trained for it, you know, I did it with the Marines and, you know, the Arctic warfare and all that kind of stuff. But again, I can't take Stella up in them temperatures and them heights and with the chill factor, wind chill factor. It would be one, cruel, two, you'd kill your dog because, you know, it's like taking your grandma up there. It's stupid, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I'll wait to the future and what happens with Stella, and you know, me and Rebel will go up there in the future. You know, I'd like to do that, get some higher ground just for a change. You know, again, do something different. But there's no urgency and no rushing. You know what I mean? So hope that answers a lot of people, because I've had lots of people asking me, even on Instagram. You know, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And because I used to. One year I was doing it like every month, but you know, you go through these fads, don't you, phases. But I think now I'm doing not quantity, I'm doing quality. For me, this is, you know what I mean? You're just my buddies that all come along and watch what we get up to. But for me, yeah, I'm doing quality rather than quantity. Don't have to shoot out every month and do a camp just so I can put it on YouTube to kind of fulfill a monthly kind of quota. So at the end of the day, I'm just enjoying life. It's as simple as that. There's no big secret, you know what I mean? I'm perfectly fine now, you know what I mean? At one point I was really, really poorly, and I thought, oh no, don't tell me the COVID's come back. But it was totally different symptoms than when I had COVID, so I wasn't too worried in the back of my head. But you can't be safe, you know what I mean? You cannot take things for granted, and COVID and everything else that's popped up lately is just causing everyone problems, isn't it? So that's enough ranting from me and rabbiting from me, sorry. I'm tired, I'm worn out. I'll let you know how things go later on. And I was going to go out and have a look, a look around and kind of explore a bit more, but not with them winds. It'll go right through you, cut through you. And I don't want to get cold feet anymore. That's why I'm hoping these are dry. So if I do have to go out, it won't take long. You don't put your boots in front of the fire, they'll shrink or they'll burn. What you do is try and get the heat to go up, and they'll never be perfect, you know, not in one couple hours or one night, but they will dry out quite a bit. These are the most important thing. They're sealskin socks. They will dry out lovely, and even if the boots are a bit damp, they shouldn't let the moisture in. The only reason they let water in is because it was well over. It was up to nearly just below my knee, I would say. Right, enough yapping. I'm going to relax and enjoy the heat. I'm trying my hardest not to whack on loads of wood and burn it all up, you know, I don't think that's fair. Just take it slow and enjoy the heat. I'll enjoy my sleep tonight, I know that. Right, catch you later on. Go, dogs. Look at you, even blew your jacket up. You stupid dog. Right, let's get in the heat. Look at Stella, you want to get in the heat, don't you? You want the fire, Stella? That's better. Went out, as you saw. It sounds worse in here, I've got to be honest, than it is out there. It's still strong. I mean, it was blowing me, moving me. It's about 24, 25 mile per hour winds. They're going to get up to 40, so it's going to be a lot noisier. But I don't know if you saw in the wind chill, it was getting close to freezing. It's like 2.3, something like that. And it's only 4:30. It's freezing. So let the dogs out for a pee. I had a pee, as if you'd want to know that. Good news, I found the woolly socks and I've got them on. Oh, lovely. Don't know if you can see. And I found another pair of sealskins. They were stuffed right in the seat pack because it goes right down into the very knobbly bit that goes under your saddle. So they would push right in. So I knew I took them. But the difference, I'm one of these people that if I've got cold feet, I'm cold. So it's really weird. Circulation thing, I know. So I'm drying these off, making sure I don't scorch them or burn them. Shoes are doing what they're doing. Hopefully they'll dry out in the next few hours. I don't expect them bone dry. So I've got socks. I've got the sleeping bag and their quilt. You might not need it, but they've got one. They've got the normal winter jackets on because it is chilly. It is quite nippy. I put some coal on. I'm gonna have some dinner in a bit, and then I'm gonna get an early night and just put a log on and cover these with a quilt, and hopefully everyone will be okay. Got some candles. Oh, there's hundreds of candles there. I've never seen a bothy well equipped, so well equipped. Wood, candles, all the things you need. And plenty of space, obviously. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of space when you count all three bothies together. Wolf, gotta be careful I'm not burning these socks. The heat will soon transmit over. I'm trying to do is like you do with a toast or something, you know what I mean? Keep turning it. So, got to dry their bags off, his bags off, but he'll go into the water whenever we go. Drying them bags off. I used some old gaiters, the Mountain Hardware gaiters. They don't have the buckle on the bottom because I was planning to ride the bike with the flat pedals, and I knew if I had a buckle on the bottom or strap or whatever, it'll get shredded with the teeth on the flat pedals. So I've seen overshoes and things like that, but I thought, nah, you know, I'm not going to spend money when it's not needed. I use a pair of old gaiters, and they worked until I went into that really deep water. But nothing would have worked in that deep water. So yeah, I'll probably end up chatting to you later. There's not much really to talk. I haven't sat over there because it's, you know, this Bothy's probably been empty for a long time. I haven't found the Bothy book for this room, so I'll have to have a look in a minute, search around. So the Bothy, because it's stone, that's enough, Rebel. He'll get a chilled stomach. He's a pig, he'll just pig. Lie down, flat. So I'll try and find out when the last summer was in here because, you know, if it's not used and no fires or anything like that, then it takes a while to get that cold out of the building, doesn't it? The wind's coming from that way, so we're on the far end buffer, so if the roof all rips up, which is, it wouldn't surprise me with these winds how they're going, we should be okay into the end. These are dry. But as I say, I found another pair, so I just want to get these dry. Now I've started, I might as well do it. I was trying to dry them around here, but the heat was nowhere going to dry them. Push them a little closer. Whoops. It's amazing what cold does, doesn't it? I put a few bits of old log that were out in there. There was some old damp, I don't know if they found it on the shore or something. But it was smoking, it was going nowhere. So I put some coal in that I brought out. And once that got raring to go, it's such a different fire. They're happy because they're play fighting. It should be nice and warm tonight. Even if the fire dies down, I'll put this quilt over. As long as Stella don't push the quilt into the fire. If you remember right, one of these got burned. I was at A Chill, and the fire was spitting, and I thought, so I moved the beds back. I thought that'll be fine. I woke up in the morning, something must have spat about 3 foot and landed on my bed. Melted it. Oh, it's amazing what a fire does, isn't it? You know, psychologically. Makes you feel so much better. Also, finding them socks, I feel 100 times better. You know what I mean? Before, as I said, I'm one of these people with circulation, you know what I mean? If my feet are cold, I will be cold all night. So I was really mad that I forgot the socks, but I knew I hadn't. So I went searching again. It was getting dark, so I missed them first time. This time I put a torch on. But before I found the socks, I was going to sit around the fire and kind of, not sulk, but I wasn't going out. As soon as I got the socks on, and I felt 10 times better. That's why I wanted to go out and check the wind. So it just shows a fire and warm, nice fluffy socks, and you feel 100 times better, don't you? God, listen to that wind. As I say, it's only gusting about 25. In the next hour or so, reach 30. That's why I'm going to get an early night. I'm going to just sleep through it. I reckon I'm so tired I'll just sleep through anything, even if the roof comes off. It's not 10 fate, eh? Right, I'll chat to you later. I'll let you know what's happening if the Bothy roof has come off. Look at it. Been great dogs today, but again, I expect nothing less from them. You know what I mean? They're so good. You put them on a trail and they just want to walk. I mean, Stella, 11 years, she'll be in 5 weeks. I mean, come on. How many 11-year-old dogs do that? And she was the one that was pushing me around and telling me, come on, go, go, go. As soon as they saw the Bothy, that was it, they were off. They love Bothies. They know what comes with a Bothy. It's normally a fire. Sometimes there's people, and people will fuss them and give them treats, so they'll love that. And sometimes it might even be the odd dog, and they like that as well. They don't mind making friends. So when they're in the street and the nasty dogs start barking at them, they don't like it. Oof, that roof. Just got this feeling I hear the roof go. But again, these Bothys have been here for years, haven't they? You know, this one has. I mean, it's seen worse storms than that. Right, look at that fire. That's coal. Well, that's wood. It's burning really kind of sluggish. Put a bit of coal in. Oof. All of a sudden it's like going crazy. Worth carrying out, wasn't it? Right, chat to you later after I've had my dinner. Sounds as though the wind is dying down. Still comes in the odd burst, but it looks like it's early if that's true. I mean, it's only 6:27. Rev off Platts. I don't know where he wants to go this time. But anyway, my shoes not too close. I want to dry them out gently. Just had chili con carne and bachelor's rice. And I cooked on a mess tin like the good old days on the fire. And I tell you what, and this is not a word of lie, it was hotter on there, you know, I mean heat temperature wise, than it was on the stove, if I cooked on the stove. Absolute toasting on there. And didn't make no problems with the mess tin, which is nice. As long as you clean it straight away, you have no problems. So I'm sitting here watching the fire. Was listening to the storm blowing and blowing, but I wonder if this is like the calm before the storm. You know, like the eye and the needle. Could come back again later. Because it's supposed to be going on to about 10, 11 o'clock, at least. My toes are lovely and warm. My hands are lovely and warm. I feel really good. There's a big lock out the front. I'll show you tomorrow. I will put the names up of the lock because I can't pronounce them. And I will put the name of that mountain with the point on, which is weird because I'm sure I saw it from the other side in the distance when I was coming down. I think it was when I was coming down from Sandwood Bay and I took the North Coast 500, is it? And I come down that way to Ullapool and beyond. Scotland sure is a beautiful country. As long as you respect nature here, you'll be fine. Oh, I was looking at, I was panicking about Friday, just because it rains and that river is in spate and I can't get across, or the dogs can't. There is an alternative route. Stay on this side and do a bit of bog hopping, and there is a bridge that bypasses both of them river crossings, so it'll be boggy on the land, but at least it'll be safer. And I'll just have to watch where I put my feet because I've only got these little bike shoes, you know what I mean? I ain't got my big club offers. So looks like we'll stay here tomorrow unless there's any real reason to get out. They're predicting tomorrow the weather would be overcast, dry but overcast, and the wind would die off. I mean, when I say die off, it's only going to be about 25, 20, something like that, but it's going to die off to about 10s and 13s by lunchtime. So if it's dry and no wind, you know what I mean, or very little wind, I don't care if it's overcast. I can still take some nice photos and do some exploring. Oh, I kid you not, I was finishing cleaning my mess tin, sitting there, just sat down and relaxed. I could swear I had someone cough outside. So I don't know if deer cough like humans, but it sounded like a human cough. Really weird. Probably a ghost. This one feels good, this Bothy. Some of them you get kind of, you can feel they've been lived in, you know. I don't mean by people visiting, I mean people from probably hundreds of years ago. Like that one of Straight Chalac near Samba Bay again. It's also called Sandy's Hut because that old guy Sandy used to live there. And I saw them paintings and all that, and that did give a feeling that his presence was still around, put it like that. Didn't hear anything or anything like that, but you did get the feeling. You wouldn't have been surprised. I mean, it didn't help with his hat hanging up. I borrowed his slippers, didn't I, if they were his. And he had a couple of other little things lying around, didn't he? He was a character, he was. Oh dear. I've got to feed them in a minute. And see how this fire goes. I'm not feeding it through the night because I don't want to go through all that wood. That wouldn't be fair on others. But we'll keep it up to about, I don't know, 11. And then chuck a duvet over them. I've brought a quilt for them. And that'll be nice and tucked up in my sleeper bag. I can't remember which one it is. It's the white one. You've got a name on it somewhere. It's the one that fits to the pad. It's down to a 0. Oh, here we go. Firmarest Parsec. Parsec, yeah. It says -6. I wouldn't trust that in -6, I'm sorry. I would say it's near 0 bag. But it's nice and puffy, you know what I mean? You feel like you're snuggling. It's got more space inside. Oh, I've got to give Stella a tablet later. Look at that, she's overdone it, she's gone stiff. She'll be fine tomorrow. Stella, lie down. She'd tighten up probably with, look at her, she's done half look at rickety now. She was fine until she stopped. You know what it is with age, you know what it's like us. You're all right when you're moving, but as soon as you stop and that fire cooks you, you know what I mean? You get, your bones kind of all seize up. And that's what's happened with her. She'll be fine in the morning. Good night rest, she'll be fine. So, I wonder what the other one's like. I doubt if it'll have all that wood stacked in there. I'll be very surprised if it does. I was thinking, looking at all the wood lying around here, I wonder if there's because I passed a woodshed, didn't I, in them lodges. I wonder if the guy's done the same here. He's put a great big load of wood in a shed there. There's normally outbuildings around the Bothy. So I'll have a look tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised, it's top right up to the top or something. That's how I like it, listen. Oh, wind's come back. You know when you got the Bothy and it's like so peaceful you could hear a pin drop. To be honest, it's not that bad out there now, the wind. It's like giving up the ghost of it. I knew the wind would be strong. I knew the rain would probably fall on Friday. I knew we'd get soaked probably Friday. But at least, if I go to the other Bothy, oh, the wind does come back. Rebel's pack will be much lighter because if we're here 2 days, we're eating food and using supplies. I won't be bringing any coal or wood back. I doubt there'll be any left, to be honest. Because I started the fire today because we were all wet and cold about, I don't know, about 2, something like that. Just to get that warmth, and you can feel the difference in this Bothy straight away. Just thought that'd chill out. But should be an easier, and it's a shorter route to I can't remember what it's called. Knocked up, knocked off, something like that. Weird now, weird now. I think there's a bit of incline and then it's levels off. But it reminds me of Glenpean without the trees. It's kind of a bit isolated on a bank there. It would have been terrible tonight. But there's 2 floors as well. But it looks like an old cottage or something. A small one. You know what I mean? It's got about 3 rooms, something like that. But it is on the Cape Wrath Trail, but I don't think anyone would be doing the Cape Wrath at this time of year. I mean, they get hammered every day, more or less, with weather, so if they did, there'd be strong people. It's bad enough in the summer. So I'll feed them in a bit. I might have some pudding. I've got some ginger cake. And then, I don't know, might be dive in my sleeping bag. Haven't heard any rats. Mice. Normally you hear them. I mean, on that floor you'd expect them. That's just, there's no attic or anything, that's just the roof. But it's plywood or whatever. Chipboard, plywood, whatever. So you'd expect to hear them running around, wouldn't you? I haven't heard anything. Right. I'll catch you later if I do. If not, I'll see you in the morning.